Okay. Would you be able to do that one? If you the ones you would want to use when you have a question like this. And the upper matches with the z up, right? These two match. Because remember, every value has its z-score. Okay. And do this first, then this second, right? Solve this first. That's what I would strongly recommend, because you will have enough information to figure this out. Like when I ask you for both of them, you'll have enough information to do either one, but I would say do this first and then this second. Okay. So from now on, if you ever in life hear data is normally distributed, I want you to be like, hey, I know a little something about that, right? And the thing you should remember is the 68, 95, 99.7. That is what they really mean, that when they look at the data, it follows that rule. Anyways, let's figure out this. For standard deviation, I'm going to go upper. Is it minus? It is minus, sorry. Upper minus lower. On the x-axis, you would have to agree that 83 is higher up and 62 is lower, right? And then they both have a z-score. But you got to watch out, the formula has that minus in there. The values may be negative as well. So the z-score of the upper is 2.49. The z-score of the lower is negative 1.24. So you got to watch out for that. Okay. And what is that, 11? No. Mr. Dirksen, what's up? 21. There we go, 21%. You can keep that as a percentage, right? And then this would be plus, right? You would actually add them up. Okay, so you've got 3, 7, 3.73, right? And now I need a calculator. Can't do it anymore. And I think I'm going to clarify why I asked you to scratch. It's 5.63, right? 5.63 what percent? I think I need to clarify why I made you rewrite the formulas. Because when you look at this, it's upper value minus lower value divided by the number of gaps between the values. This was a little too ambiguous. Like, what does that mean? And really, when you're finding the difference between these z-values, you're finding how many gaps are there in between, how many standard deviations are there in between. And so this is what it is, okay, 5.63. So to find the mean, I will just take one of the z-scores. You gotta watch out. There are two z-scores here. I'm going to use this one. Okay, so if you use 2.49 times the standard deviation, which is 5.63, You just got to make sure that the z-score you pick matches the value you're going to add here. Is it plus or minus? It's minus, right? Or am I getting it all wrong? That's what I get for making up formulas and not memorizing them. Value minus z times standard deviation. Sorry, guys. Value, so that's 83, minus z, which is 2.49, times the standard deviation. That's more like it. Okay. If you had picked this z-score, you would have ended up with double negatives here, and you would have picked the 62 instead of the 83. So you just gotta watch out you line them up, right? And so that's 83 minus, I need help here, and that's 14.0187. That is 68.98%. This would have been the average. That's the standard deviation, right? So we now I could ask you, okay, what percentage of students scored higher than 70 on the test? Normal CDF, right? 70 to 1,000 mean standard deviation, right? So I could ask you that. So I just wanted to have another one. I will do this, SD and mean by hand, right? This is an example of that. Okay, I'm going to give you that AC that I call it a mock test, right? To be honest, if you want to use your notes, if you want to peek while you do this, I will be okay. Try not to, but if you must, then it is what it is, right? Another maybe you can add that to your stats checklist. There's a way to figure out standard deviation by hand. Like there's actually a formula. And this is what it looks like. It's scary, but it's not that bad. Oh my goodness, right? If you want a swing at the bonus, there's going to be a bonus question on the test. I will post a video where I do this for a set of data. I actually figure out the standard deviation by hand. If you want to score marks on the bonus, it needs to show me how you did that by hand. You can't just like go one variable stats, boom, boom, and just give me the average, right? It's not going to work for you. So watch video for bonus. Okay, watch video for bonus. And it will make sense when you watch me do it. I think it's about a 10-minute video. You can probably watch it at time and a half and still get what I'm doing. But I find it, I used to teach it as part, but I'm like, nobody ever does it. You use an Excel spreadsheet or calculator to figure out that for 50 values, right? It would be so time consuming. But I think it's still important to know how would that work, what's happening in the background. Okay, so if you're a keener, nothing wrong with being a keener, by the way. That's where you get it. Okay, so here's the AC. And this is just to kind of warm you up. This is not necessarily everything. Questions 25 to 29. You can scratch them because that has to do with the part I skipped. So 25 to 29, I would not expect you to answer that. So I'll give you some time, and then at the end I'll come in and if you have a question, just raise your hand. Sorry to interrupt, guys, but it's almost the end. So this one I posted just now. Well, actually not yet, but I scanned it. I'm going to post it. So the one you're working on, I'm going to post that. Keep in mind some resources, okay? Keep in mind that in your workbook, there's a test review at the end. I posted that key already on Thursday last week. It's there. I just checked. Also, if you want to read some more about normal distribution curves, at the end there's a lot of things that we already talked about. Last but not least, there's that test checklist at the end of the workbook. I didn't make you copy it all down again in the yellow, right? It's kind of pointless. And it goes over some of the points that we've talked about. I will tell you that calculate the MCTs by hand. I will not make you do it. You can always use your calculator to do that. We won't have to worry about confidence intervals, all of that stuff. And this will be bonus, right? Like calculating the standard deviation completely from scratch by hand. I posted, it's a 7-minute video if you want to give that a go, okay? Other than that, guys, feel free to reach out, ask for help. We'll write our test, and then we're done with new stuff. No more new stuff. Your brains get to focus on the exam then, okay?